This woman believed her ex-boyfriend was only after money, and that was why he took over her father's hospital. To get revenge, she married her ex-boyfriend's father-in-law, but after her revenge worked out, she realized she had targeted the wrong person. It turned out her own mother was the one who caused her ex-boyfriend's mother's death, which made Jing Xian furious and led him to strike back at her family. At that moment Minqiu felt everything she had done lost its meaning, so the next day she asked her husband for a divorce. After all, Minqiu had married the older man just to get revenge on her ex. Now that she knew she had misunderstood Jing Xian, there was no reason for her marriage to continue. But Taishan couldn't bear to let his beloved wife go, so he pretended not to hear the word divorce, and even acted cheerful, saying he wanted to take her on a trip to the countryside. Seeing her husband avoid the subject, Minqiu didn't know what to do with him, because even if they stayed married, neither of them would ever find happiness together. So Minqiu turned to Xilan for help, and told her about her wish to divorce Taishan. Xilan, who wanted to stay with her own husband, naturally hoped Minqiu would disappear quickly, so she took out a plane ticket she had prepared and told Minqiu to leave quietly, saying she would handle everything afterward. Minqiu thought with Xilan's help she could leave the country safely, but her mother-in-law happened to see the plane ticket in her hand. The old lady was puzzled, not knowing what her daughter-in-law planned, so she ordered someone to look into her movements. Soon the secretary found out that Minqiu had bought a ticket for the next day, and was planning to go to Paris alone. The old lady was shocked to learn her daughter-in-law was leaving the country by herself, a woman going to Paris without her husband. She suspected there was more to the story than it seemed. Since Minqiu was leaving the next day, she asked Jing Xian to meet her one last time, to apologize for everything she had done to him. But their meeting was secretly photographed by the secretary behind them. When the mother-in-law learned of this, she was stunned. She never imagined her daughter-in-law and her grandson-in-law had once been lovers. If this ever got out, it would be a disgrace to the family. She even thought Minqiu was planning to run away with Jing Xian, while her poor son was still deeply in love with her. If Minqiu suddenly disappeared, it would break Taishan's heart. So the mother-in-law waited by the door early the next morning to stop her. Seeing this, Minqiu knew she couldn't escape, and followed her mother-in-law's order to get into the car. Just then Xilan called anxiously, asking where Minqiu was, worried she might have changed her mind and missed the flight. That was when the old lady realized her granddaughter was also involved, but to keep her from finding out, she told Minqiu to pretend she was already on her way to the airport. Then she threw the photos of Minqiu and Jing Xian onto the floor, furiously revealing that they had once been lovers. She couldn't believe Minqiu had ignored Taishan's feelings for revenge, and now wanted to leave with her ex after everything was over. How could someone be so selfish and cruel? After the truth came out, Minqiu was terrified, and even more shocked when the old lady burned all of her luggage. She warned Minqiu that if she ever tried to leave again, Jing Xian would pay a heavy price for her actions. Frightened by the threat, Minqiu had to return home again, to keep her forever tied to her son, and stop her from running away again. The mother-in-law demanded that Minqiu sign a contract made specially for her, stating she could never ask Taishan for a divorce in her lifetime, and after his death, she would not inherit a single cent. To protect Jing Xian's future, Minqiu signed the harsh agreement without complaint. When Xilan returned home with her husband and saw Minqiu, she was stunned. By now her stepmother should have been on the plane. Minqiu didn't explain the truth, and simply said she had changed her mind. Not knowing the truth, Xilan was furious, thinking she had been played once again. After learning about her daughter-in-law and grandson-in-law's past, the old lady began to deliberately provoke them at the dinner table. She urged her granddaughter to have a child with Jing Xian soon. Hearing that, Minqiu felt deeply uncomfortable, so she made an excuse to leave the table and avoid the topic. But her mother-in-law would never let her off that easily.